make him famous, make him famous, make him famous. We make him famous, make him famous, make him famous.
Genesis Embrace Ministries brings to you Be the Man Podcast Masterclass, a word for real men on the first and third week of the month with a fresh anointing that will speak truth to power and empower your soul with Minister Rodney Jacobs. Genesis Embrace Ministry is an advocate for a transformative approach to reach men where they are, along with a faith that is deeply rooted with God's agape love. Get ready to be the man with Minister Rodney Jacobs.
Welcome to the Be the Man Masterclass. I'm your host, Rodney Jacobs. And this is my brand new podcast. I just want to say thank you for everyone who is tuning in today. This has been a blessing. I've been asked to, just help other men how to be the best man they can be. Hey, we're gonna get this. We're gonna get this thing jumping off, right? We're gonna get this thing started. Get this party started right. So we're gonna get this party started. Today we're going to be talking about a lot of men issues, and I'm going to give you a little introduction about myself and where I come from and how this podcast can help you as a man to be the best man you could ever be. And most of all, being the man of God and being the man he created you to be. So I want to start off by saying to you guys that I'm an Army veteran, 30 years, and I stayed in the military for a majority of my life. And I went to, faraway places and saw faraway things and saw a lot of things that was probably not usual or common to folks from Philly, you know what I'm saying? So I was overseas and, oh man, I just had a blast. But before all that happened, I love scale models. How many of you out there love scale models? How many men out there that build like tanks and ships and tractor trailers? And well, I do that now for a living, because I'm retired and it relaxes me, calms me down. But when I was a kid, my brother used to break them all up. He used to destroy them, and when I come home from school, I'd be so upset, and he would like, I'll break another one. And so I really, to be honest with you, I really didn't know what to do. So I started to, withdraw and I started to do other things, and one thing led to another, and I felt myself in a dark place. And sometimes we get to these dark places and it just don't seem right. We have to try to find our way back from those dark places. And as men, we it's kind of hard for us to, just sit down and talk to someone because, either your ego or your alpha male or whatever you think you are. We have to learn how to put that aside and have others help us through those dark times. See, sometimes when we don't, we end up going into an abyss, black hole. We'll start thinking about suicide, and then we'll start thinking about other things that is not of God in nature. So I want to tell you this because I'm still building models today. Hey, I overcame that fear. I've been selling models for the past 6 or 7 years, and it's a good little profession that I have. But the outcome of it is not just about the models. It's about self-preservation, your life, how you fit in society. How will you see yourself as you continue to get older? See, being a man is tough and challenging. We all have to have a journey that God gives us so we can succeed and finish the mission. See, sometimes we don't understand that because we sometimes walk around with those blinders on our eyes, sometimes just like that horse. That horse, when it's in that field, the only thing it's doing is going what, guys? It's going forward. But he can't see from left, he can't see right. But we need to learn how to see left, right, and in front of us. Because what happens down the road, we sometimes, we get caught up. We get caught up in things that is not of God. And we get caught up in street life. And we get caught up in all these different things. And some of you guys can, contest to having friends that are not here on the earth anymore because they got caught up. But we want to make sure that we don't get caught up, and we want to make sure we get in the right perspective so we can make the best man possible in our lives. And that's being us. Hey, I want to quote this to you right now. The strength of a man is in his character. A strong man is a great man of wisdom who understands his top priority is his family. Yeah, it's a mouthful, guys. We don't always look at our family as being our first. We always look at everything else being first, cleaning our cars, going out with our boys, our homeboys, going on trips, and we leave our families astray. And then the next thing you know, you either divorce or you never was married in the first place, or your girlfriend leaves you because her homegirls say this and that and the other thing about you. You ain't this, you ain't that. You know how that thing goes. But see, I'm here to tell you that all that can change, and just believing in what God has for you is for you. See, you have to understand that God has a mission, and he designed all this for us, and no one else. So we have to understand these things. And that leads me into my first question. You know what? We're going to take a break right quick, and we'll be right back, because I don't want to get in that question right quick. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back. You're listening to Rodney Jacobs on the Be the Man Masterclass. Welcome back to the Be the Man Masterclass. I'm your host, Rodney Jacobs. We just had a little short break, and just get everybody to simmer down a little bit and think about it, talk about it, work about it. You know what I mean, brothers. We want everybody to have a mindset of not only just being a man, but being the best man that God created you to be. So my question to you for today, here's today's question. In 10 years, what will you be, and what legacy as a man will you leave behind? Wow. Yeah, that's a tough one, guys. That's a tough one. I know it's hard. I know that at times that sometimes we don't know what a legacy is. Sometimes we don't even know what people are going to say. But what type of legacy do you want to leave behind for your kids, your family, your loved ones, your significant other? Write down in the comments in my podcast, man. I just want everybody to write something down. What is your legacy? What is your goals? Where do you see yourself in 10 years? I always ask myself that each and every day I wake up in the morning, because life is not promised to you. Growing up, man, I was wild and crazy. Hey, how many men can contest to that? Just raise your hand out there. Yep, wild and crazy, wilding out, whatever the genre is today, I was it. But I had this man ask me one day, where are you going when you die? Man, that blew my mind, bro. I did not know what the heck he was talking about, why he even said it to me. And only thing I could say is that brother had an issue. I didn't know what his issue was, but it wasn't for me. But as time went on, I started to realize that the question wasn't for me. It was about me. Let me say that again. It wasn't for me. It was about me. And I say that because as we get older in life, there are challenges, there are hurdles that we have to take in order to succeed in everything we do. And on the Be the Man Masterclass, here's the things we're going to talk about in the upcoming days and upcoming weeks. Sharpening each other as brothers in Christ, the power of the community, be the man that God created you to be, building your community, whatever your community is, build other men in that community, have support groups that men don't usually have. And whatever's in that, whenever you talk about in that support group, stays in that support group. You gonna go back out with your homeboys if they're not in the support group, bro. You need to be ditching them because they're not doing nothing but holding you down. And if they hold you down, you cannot make right choices. The strength for your journey, whatever your strength is, we're gonna figure that out. I'm gonna give you some little things you can write down, some nuggets that you can take and help you learn what your strengths are. Your goals. Your goals. Do you know how many times that people do not, and brothers too, mostly men, do not complete their dreams and goals? Is because we never, ever write them down. We have to start writing them down. We have to start living it. And as we see it, our minds record it. We have to do that. Establish a men group in your area, at your job, at your place where you play basketball, your rec center, your club, whatever you do. Start a men group where you can gather together and talk like things. You know, you always see these crazy commercials on television about erectile dysfunctions. You know, we have a dysfunction. It is called we can't talk to one another. It's some crazy stuff out there right now. When I was growing up, you would never hear something like that on the radio. But you hear all types of stuff. And I'm not saying this to embarrass anyone out there, but I'm saying it because these things are life. You know, if you have a sexual problem that you can't talk about to your doctor, maybe you could talk about it into the men's group. And they're able to give you help. You never know who's sitting in that men's group that's a doctor that can help you. Or you have diabetes and you're not telling no one. You're not taking any medication. You're not doing anything. But we all know one day you'll pass away because you're not taking care of yourself. Your physical being is the best thing that you can take care of on your own, but sometimes you might need help to get to the next level. We also going to talk about encouraging liability. Liability. What is a liability? How do we say what a liability can do for you? What a liability, does it hurt you? Can it help you? Those type of things we're going to go over in the Be the Man Masterclass. Promote active listening. Now, y'all know, and I do it too, you're going to hear what you want to hear. You know what I'm saying? You're going to hear what you want to hear. If somebody get on your nerve, you ain't going to listen. You know, your girls in your ear, you know, the first thing is like the Peanuts, you know, the Charlie Brown, womp, 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 womp. You know how that feels. But just to keep it real, that we're going to keep it real on this podcast. We're going to keep it real because we have to understand that when we selective listen, man, nobody want to be around you. Nobody want to talk to you. Nobody wants to find out where you going. Nobody wants to deal with a person that don't want to understand. As we used to say, you knucklehead. We don't want knuckleheads. We want men of wisdom. We want men of power. We want men that are forthright. And that's what this podcast will do for you. Make you forthright, strong. Make iron sharpen iron. I know your brothers say we're going to dig into what that means. We're going to find out how we can do that. You're only stronger as the weakest link. Learn how to embrace a brother. Growing up, my dad could never say I love you. I don't know about y'all out there, but I ain't never heard it. I ain't never heard it until maybe 10 or 15 years ago. My dad was diagnosed with dementia. And he had said to me, Rodney, I love you. And I was like, wow. I said, Dad, I love you too. And he's like, why is this happening to me? Is God punishing me? And I'm like, Dad, nah, God's not punishing you. We're going to get through this together. And I had an opportunity to go see my dad. He's here in Maryland. And, over the holidays, Thanksgiving, I got the chance to go see him. He didn't know who I was. And I had a tear in my eye. And I didn't know what to do or say. And I held his hand and I just kept holding his hand. And I said, Dad, this is Rodney. And he said, yup. And that's all he said. And that's all I needed to hear. And I felt so relieved that, he might not be able to say a lot of words, but he said something that was so much, just the word yup, that he still hears me and he still understands that I'm still there, and whatever I do, that he's going to always be there for me. And those are the things that we have to understand, that we have to cherish in life. Because I'm telling you, men, when your parents are gone, they're gone. I buried my mom not too long ago, and I thought, sure, she's going to live forever, until I saw that headstone. And that took me back a little ways, and I didn't know how to express myself. And I talked to my pastor, and he was like, hey, minister, you got to do this, that, and the other. And I'm like, well, what do you mean by that? How do I get through this? He said, well, you got to find a new norm. And I didn't want a new norm, guys. I didn't want a new norm. I want my mom back. I want my mom back. I want no new norm. I didn't want that. These are the things we're going to talk about, and we're going to dive deep into, and how your soul hurts, your heart hurts, how things that that you think you have under control, brother, I'm here to tell you, sometimes we don't have it under control. So in my 30 years of the Army, I had challenges, I had dreams, I had expectations. And I know some of you guys out there are saying, yo, dude, you got it made. You had it all that. You bag of chips, bro. You don't even know what you talking about, man. I'm in lockup. What are you talking about? I'm in lockup. I've been here for 15 years. I ain't getting out. I don't have no future. I'm not going to be anything. I'm getting beat up in a prison cell. No. I don't understand that life, but I can tell you this, that God has a purpose. Even in prison, God's have a purpose for you. Even in Peter's life, in prison, God had purpose. See, you have to understand how and when to be still so God can give you your divine purpose. See, you have to understand that the choices that we take and the challenges we have make us a greater man. And how do we become this greater man? We're going to dive into that in my next podcast. Hey, we're going to take a break right quick. I'll be right back. Welcome back to the Be the Man podcast. I'm your host, Rodney Jacobs. I'm glad that everybody's tuning in today. Ask a friend, tell a friend. Hey, brothers, we need to get together. We need to band together. We need to get stronger on this journey. I want every man that's on tonight's podcast to tell a friend. As many as you tell, as many as we can save. We have to get together, become stronger, and most of all, believe we can be the best man possible by believing in Jesus Christ and knowing that he has a purpose. Just like Joshua, when they went around the walls of Jericho. We have to build our own wall tear down the wall that we see in front of us, and go for what God needs us to go for. And the only way we can do that is to be together as one, talk to others, and find out what is bothering them really deep inside. You've been listening to Minister Rodney Jacobs and Be the Man Masterclass. I'll see you next time. Peace out, brothers. Once again, you'll be listening to the Be the Man Masterclass with your host, Rodney Jacobs, which airs every first and third day of the month. Tune in again for Be the Man Masterclass with your host, Minister Rodney Jacobs. Until then, be blessed, be the best man you can be, and most of all, keep striving for excellence.
If you would like for Minister Rodney Jacobs to speak at your church or ministry event, email us at partnership@genesis.org. Or if you would like for us to promote your church or church events, email us at partnership@genesis.org. Don't forget to share this broadcast on your social media platform with family and friends. This ministry is a production of the Leadership Insights Network. Genesis Embrace, embracing people for Christ.
We make him famous, make him famous, make him famous. We make him famous, make him famous, make him famous. We make him famous, make him famous, make him famous.